health and peace and happiness for everyone. Ashreinu, how good and beautiful is our heritage. Parashat Vayechi, Tafshin Pei Bet. The Midrash at the end of Sefer Bereshit describes how the three Avot, the fathers, made different requests from Hashem about the period before the end of life. Avraham asked for zikna, old age. Avraham and Sarah, the first people about whom the Torah says that they are zikenim, they are old. Yitzchak asked for yisurim, for suffering, to atone for sins. And Yaakov asked for illness, for disease. Why ask for disease? Because the Midrash says before that, people would just suddenly die, and having an illness, being aware that a person is about to leave this world, gives a person an opportunity, in the words of the Midrash, liyashev ben banav. I would say, in a general term, to put things in order. This can be to make a will, spiritual or financial. It can be to make peace between people, to give personal messages. It can be an opportunity to express love, gratitude, appreciation. It's a very deep and rich world, this issue. And this is what Yaakov does in Parashat Vayechi. He is miyashev ben banav. He puts things in order. You can see the connection between the requests of the three Avot in the Midrash. If we achieve old age, that can be a deep and rich world in itself, and a very rich and deep experience. But as we know, sometimes it becomes suffering, but it also gives a person the opportunity, as we said, to put things in order. As we said, this is what Yaakov does in the parasha. Actually, it is also what connects the Haftarah to the parasha, because in the Haftarah, we read about David HaMelech, before his death, giving instructions to his son Shlomo what to do after his death. In the last couple of years, we have been exposed to the professional role of a spiritual caregiver before death, a person who accompanies the sick person and the family to go through this spiritual process of, as we said, putting things in order. And it's a very important role, a very sensitive role. And in the time of the corona pandemic, we have been exposed to how important this is and how worthy it is to make an effort to enable people to go through this important process. It's fascinating to see how this professional modern understanding and sensitivity is expressed in the Midrash from about 1500 years ago and is present in the Pshat of Parashat Shavua. Maybe it's not so surprising because, after all, we are all human beings, and a person passing away and leaving family and friends behind, and the question of what kind of closure did they have, what messages did he give before his death, this is a human experience. In spite of the tremendous differences between the different generations, there's a common ground to this experience in all these different generations. But it's fascinating nonetheless to notice how the Torah connects, how the Torah gives us the tools to connect old and new. How in this new sensitivity and professionalism that we have in this issue in today's world, how we look back at the Torah and the Midrash and see that this existed, and the basis for it is already there in the Torah and the Midrash. How when we read the Torah and the Midrash, we can jump forward thousands of years and see how in today's world it becomes something so sensitive and professional. So the Torah gives us the tools to make this connection between old and new. And the Torah is also weaving together a fascinating connection between Yaakov Avinu giving a message, which is a message for generations. It's about the nation, it's about the mission, the universal mission of Am Yisrael on the one hand, and the sensitivity to an individual and the sensitivity to human needs, weaving all this together. All these connections are right here in the Torah. Ashreinu matov chelkeinu, how good and beautiful is our heritage. Shabbat Shalom.